Hi, I'm Chad with Move For Guitar. This lesson is from our series Chord Progressions for Beginners. In this lesson, I'm going to show you 5 popular chord progressions. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you 6 popular chord progressions in the key of G. I'm just going to show them in the key of G because that's a good place to start. And if you didn't watch lesson 1 or 2, you might want to go back and watch those where I give more explanation on what chord progressions are and how to understand them and what these numbers mean. But if you already understand all that and you're just looking for some chord progressions, you can just jump right in, and I'm going to jump right into progression number 1. So progression number 1, I'm going to do a 1, 5, 6, 4. And if you know who the Axis of Awesome are, you'll know that this is a really popular chord progression. They did a video called the 4-Chord Song where they showed how this chord progression was used in tons of popular songs that everybody knows. So watch that video if you haven't seen it. It's really interesting. It's really funny. They did it in a different key. I'm doing it in the key of G. I can't remember what key they did it in. It might have been the key of E, but it's still a 1, 5, 6, 4 is the really popular chord progression that you'll find in tons of songs. So in the key of G, a 1, 5, 6, 4 is a G, D major, E minor, and a C. And like I said in the other videos, it doesn't have to be those exact chords. You could play extensions of those. Like I could play an E minor 7 instead of E minor, a C add 9, or a D sus 4, or a D7. It doesn't matter. That's still a 1, 5, 6, 4. So I'm just going to play it through with some chords, extensions, and show you what it sounds like. And there I just played a G to a D to an E minor 7 to a C add 9, but it's still a 1, 5, 6, 4. And I played a really simple rhythm. You could play a more complicated rhythm. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to hold the chords the same amount of time, but it's still, it would be that chord progression. Here's a little different rhythm. So all that's up to you, and that's what makes songs sound different. But it's still a 1, 5, 6, 4. Here's a 1, 4, 6, 5 in the key of G. So that'd be a G, a C, an E minor, and a D. So the same chords as the last one, just in a different order. And I played a G, C add 9, E minor 7, D. But you could just play the regular G, C major, D major, E minor. It doesn't matter. Here's a 1, 6, 4 this time, so only 3 chords. So that'd be a G, an E minor, and a C. So it's a really useful chord progression as well. Here is a 1, 2, 3, 4. So it just kind of works its way up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be a G, an A minor, B minor, and C. The last one I'm going to show you in this lesson, number 5, is starting with a 5, then a 4, then a 1. So we're not starting on the 1 chord this time. So we go from a D, to a C, to a G. So it could sound something like this. Or like, again, the strumming pattern, the rhythm, the duration of the chords, that's all up to you to make your own songs. So that's 5 more chord progressions, popular chord progressions, that'd be really useful for you to learn. And you can move on to the next lesson once you get these down, where I'm going to show you another 5 that'll be really useful. So in total, you're going to have 15 in the key of G that'll be really useful to you. And then after that, I'm going to dive into some minor key progressions that actually come out of the key of G, but I'll explain that when we get to there. But learning these first with the major key sound will really help you. You're going to find in tons of songs. You'll be able to write your own songs and come up with a ton of different things. So just play with these, come up with your own rhythms, strumming patterns, all of that, and these will be really useful to you for as long as you play guitar. Also, be sure to subscribe because we add at least one new lesson every day.